7 gardens, 1 day, and countless opportunities to learn and be inspired. I'm talking about the 4th annual Garden Walk, which is sponsored by the Gardeners Club of Green Bay. This event is coming up on Saturday, July 18th, and it's your chance to tour some remarkable yards in De Pere, Alloway, and Green Bay. Kathy and Dave Schneider have lived at this De Pere home for 20 years and spent countless hours transforming the yard into a lush and welcoming space. All right, Kathy, tell me a little bit about your history as a gardener. What really drew you to gardening?
My dad really drew me to gardening. He grew up, his uncle, who was a priest, would come visit their house on his days off and be gardening. So my dad got a love from his uncle. And then my dad, just his gardens are beautiful. And most of us, especially my sister Peggy and I, just have this love for gardening. And it just is so peaceful. And it's kind of your therapy to be able to get out in the garden. So every house I've lived in, a lot of grass has disappeared because it's creating new gardens.
So what drew you to the Garden Walk? Why did you want to be involved this year?
Well, actually 2 years ago we went on the Garden Walk and we ended up winning a prize. So we met Veronica. Take 5 is one of the sponsors. So they have a thing there afterwards, and we happened to be going there using our coupon for a free drink and cheese platter, and talked to Veronica and told her that we had walked. We lived close by and had talked to her, and so she knew where we lived. And then last summer, her and her husband just knocked on our door and says, "Oh, we've been looking at your garden. Would you like to be on the Garden Walk?" And it's like, well, that's kind of a bucket list thing. You know, we always joke, like, "Oh, you think we're ready for a garden walk?" And so when they, asked, it's like, yes, that we definitely need to do this. So yeah, it's definitely been a bucket list thing to be able to do something like this and to share our gardens with others. And yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
So what kind of preparation have you put into your yard this year, knowing that you're part of the Garden Walk?
Probably adding different plants or adding a few more things, trying to look for yard art that's unique. But every year there's usually a lot of work. We had over 18 yards of mulch put in, so some of our kids that's their Mother's Day gift, so we have a day to put in mulch. But there's probably been at least 4 weekends where my husband and I are out here cutting things down, cleaning things up, rearranging. But yeah, there's usually adding new gardens. This year my husband made me promise no new gardens, just maintain. But yeah, there's been fun adding some new planters and some different pots and things just for accents. So.
And so how does it feel to share what you've worked on all these years with the public?
A little nervous. There's occasionally when we go to other places and say, like, I have a little bit of imposter syndrome, like, is this really worthy for people to walk through? But yeah, I'm excited because it is a neat, like, people say it looks like a park, and it is peaceful, it's relaxing, and both my husband and I have done so much stuff here that we're proud of it, so it'll be fun.
What would you say is your favorite feature of the yard?
There's certain flowers, the peonies or the delphiniums. We've got some hibiscus, but you can tell that we just love hostas. And it's just fun to have different colors, and that, people think of hostas that they're just these plain green things that are just kind of a side thing. So for people to come in our yard and see, oh, there's so many hostas and you truly can decorate with just hostas. One of my son's friends who filmed their wedding here, he said, oh, now he suddenly has a love of hostas after seeing all of these and that there's so many.
Well, what do you hope that people will take away from the experience of visiting your garden, your backyard?
It doesn't happen overnight, that you can, start with a blank slate and little by little build onto the garden. And we're real people with real jobs. So this isn't, a full-time job. So you can have a garden, you can do all these things, and things like, yes, it takes a full day to put mulch in, but then it reduces the weeding, so it's more manageable throughout the summer not to have to do those things. But yeah, this is something that, now I have summers off, but previous to a couple of years ago I didn't. But this is something you can do on weekends. You can do it on, it's not a full-time job, and anyone can, if they love gardening, little by little they can do the same thing.
Kathy, tell me a little about the history of this property and the work that you've put into it.
Well, when we moved here about 20 years ago, it was just a secluded yard with just what we thought were shrubs, and we couldn't even see into our neighbor's yard. And then about 10 years ago, the neighbors let us know that pretty much everything between us was buckthorn and needed to be removed, or it was just going to keep taking over and invading our gardens. So we cleared that all out, and because it was all ground cover and buckthorn. So every year we probably took another, 10 feet of ground cover out. We'd get a sod cutter, try to get it, down so we could loosen up the roots, and then add some more plants. So both our neighbor Mary and I have, been building year after year, adding more things. And now it's hard to tell where does ours end and hers start. And it's, we just feel like looks like a park now with that. But yeah, it was all ground cover and buckthorn, 20 years ago. So in time, it's evolved quite nicely.
So Kathy, it seems like, when I hear about your garden and your experience here, there are just a lot of personal stories attached to the various features, as I look around. And does that kind of sum up gardening for you? Is it more of a personal experience than just making it look pretty on the surface?
Yes, it really is. I mean, it's so enjoyable and relaxing to be out here, but it's neat things like there's a butterfly house behind us that was at my in-laws' house, or flowers or plants that came from my siblings or my dad, or different friends that gardeners share plants. So it's neat to know, okay, this came from this yard, and now we get to see these every year. Or there's some large allium globes I got from my in-laws' garden. I shared some with my sister, so now she can think about my in-laws. So it's kind of fun with those type of things where you can share plants and then have pieces of other people that you think about when you're looking at your gardens. It's kind of cool.
Yes, that is a beautiful way to look at it. And that's, people think sometimes, gardening is not for them, but when you work in the family aspect and just the personal stories, it's much more meaningful.
And it's just peaceful. It's just peaceful once you have, especially with having perennials or hostas, they come back on their own each year. Just add a little bit with annuals, and then you can sit back and enjoy it. So.
Excellent. Well, I thank you for sharing your garden with me today.
Oh, well, thank you for coming and being here.
Yes, looking forward to the garden walk.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
All right.